Okay, and to do this we're going to use push through technique on the model because we don't need to worry about having specific vertices there, as we're going to use light maps for lighting this model, or a dynamic light. So if you select the 4 edges around here, and then I want you to go to create shape from selection, so we just hit that button there and just select linear and hit OK. Now initially that looks like it hasn't done anything, but if you come out of Edit Poly and hide this model, you'll see we now have a line shape, and we can use a similar technique to what we used up here to create this shape. So if you scroll down in your options and select shell, sorry, not shell, if you select sweep and then pick bar like so, and we'll just unhide all to get our door back. We'll make sure that this fits correctly. Extrude this out a little bit, and then we can change our settings down here. That should just about do it. Then we'll apply an Edit Poly modifier to this shape, unhide everything, and then I'll just tick on biangle and select that back area and delete that. And one quick thing, you'll notice the smoothing groups aren't quite correct, so I'll just select all and just do clear all on this, and then unhide all, go to our view here and go to wireframe mode, and just pull that edge to there. So with our first shape made, we can still come back down to sweep here if you want to change any of your settings. So I might put that up to 0.6, I'll put that down to 0.6 even, and I'm also going to come to hierarchy, effect pivot only, and do center to object. And I'll pull that in just a bit further so it's definitely indented. Go to our left view and we can pull this down, holding shift to clone it. We might as well make it an instance in case we change it later. And I'll just line this up to there. And we'll select them both and just clone them over to the other side of the door, like so. So now we have the outer frames, and now we need to do the frames in here as well. So we should be able to just select these two, hold shift to clone, and we'll make these copies this time. Go to rotate mode, making sure angle snap is on. You can use A to turn that on and off. We'll just rotate this 90 degrees, pull it in, move it around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up to one edge here, well, in fact what we'll do is here, I think they're both still instance actually, no, yep, they're instance of each other, so we'll select those and just pull that in. And again, just make sure that they are flush, like so. And one other little thing, a useful thing about sweep is it actually unwraps the model for you by default. So just make sure you've got generate mapping chords ticked on. I'll just make sure that's assigned it to all of them. It has. And we'll check this one too. Down to sweep, generate mapping chords, back up to Edit Poly. So So now we can select both of these, hold shift to clone, this time make them an instance, and then we'll use mirror just to flip them round. And then again just make sure like that. Okay, so that's our fine detail added in there. So the last thing we're going to do is just select these doors here, hide them, and then select this inner area. And if you look on the reference image, you'll notice it has this bit that steps down here, so we're just going to add that in. So we just go to polygon mode, we'll delete the top, we'll delete these two sides, and then we'll just extrude this out, and then we'll turn on snap mode with S, we'll just snap that to the edge there, and just delete this end polygon, delete the top polygon, also delete that back one as well. And then we'll go to vertex mode, select all, and just hit weld. Okay, so we're pretty much there with the model now. One step left to do is just to go around and optimize the model, so to remove any kind of loops or any kind of edges and loops that can be removed for optimization. So let's just have a look around this model. It's good to check the steps on something like this. We just add an edit poly modifier. Just think could possibly remove this loop here. It's not adding too much to the model. Probably remove this loop around here, no need for that. Hold control and hit remove. The important thing to do actually is just to have a look at the model and make sure that you don't need it. I'd say there we do actually need that loop, so we'll leave that in. We'll check this door. On the door we probably don't need the loop. It can be worth leaving in if you're going to have a different kind of texture detail on there, but I don't think we will, so you can probably remove that loop. Do the same on the bottom down here. Check this back panel, seems okay. In theory we could probably separate this up a bit and remove that loop, but I don't think it's really worth it, to be honest. And then we'll select this object here, apply an edit poly on top. We can definitely remove this back loop here. Sure, we can remove one of these. And we also have the potential to move some of these. Well, I don't think it's too bad. You could remove the centre one here, but then bear in mind you might want to actually use the same texture twice there, so you might want to leave that in. We'll remove it for now. We can always add it later if we need it back. Okay, last thing to check, any of these areas here, can we remove anything from this? Can probably get rid of a couple of these loops. But if it affects the shape too much, then you might as well leave them in. Okay, that'll do for now. We'll just test on this. If we remove every other one. I think the shape's fine like that, so we'll remove those. Then obviously we've got the inner ones to do here as well. We can see that will reduce. It's always worth going around the model and doing this just to reduce the overall polygon count. So now if we select our model, we can see we're under 6,000 tries for this model.